Всем привет, друзья! Мы продолжаем играть в Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Также буду играть пока по полчасика максимум. Из-за того, что я прохожу еще первую часть. Поговорите с паном Тачиком. Вы можете найти его, следуя указателю компаса в верхней части экрана. Чё собака никак не успокоится? Еще с прошлого раза орёт и орёт. Гавкает и гавкает. Барбос, мать твою.
Whistle to that dog. For
Come here.
Christ's sake.
What's all the fuss about,
Henry,
Matt?
call
Are you that
off
hungry?
that damn
All right,
dog
I'll see
before
what I
he
can get
wolfs
for
down
you.
the last of our mates. Well,
Ты чё так завелся?
peace at last. That barking was a pain in the ass.
Оказывается, игра работает на движке CryEngine, что и первая часть, что вторая. Первая, кстати, я не особо видел там CryEngine почему-то. Это движок Crysis, если что.
Well then, Henry?
Ну да ладно.
Henry! Oh, that was a tight thing with the captain, eh?
I got the feeling you'd lost your tongue.
Just for a moment. But true enough. That bastard surprised me a bit.
Well, that's what I'm here for. To deal with that kind of stuff.
And I must say, that was pretty good for your first action as leader of my bodyguard. Let's see if you keep it up. But we managed the situation all right in the end. He even apologized to us. If Hanosh had seen it, maybe he'd finally stop treating me like a child, eh?
Well, I don't know. When I look at you, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Kiss my arse. And by the way, since you're here, how about stretching our limbs a bit after that long journey? With a bit of swordplay?
You're in the mood for that after riding so long.
Certainly. So then, eh? Eh?
All right then. Just a bit of swordplay for the hell of it? Or shall we have a wager?
Let's save the wagers for later.
Oh, you afraid?
Keep the biting remarks to yourself. You've got armor on, so just grab your helmet. Here's a practice sword for you. Have that ready too.
Я забыл поднять качество записи. Я вот что вспомнил. Ладно. Он сказал облачиться в доспехи. Но на мне все одето было, кроме шапки, получается. Управление, что ли, немного поменялось.
So, shall we start?
Do you think we're gonna fight with our cocks? Put on your helmet and armor, grab a practice sword and come along.
А что я не надел еще?
Can we start with the swordplay?
You've got your armor. Good. I won't hold back. Did you deal with that dog of yours? I wouldn't want him gobbling up our supper while we're training.
You're right. Hang on a while.
Пса надо накормить, я правильно понимаю? Получается так.
Come here.
О, ускорение нормальное сделали. На левый стик.
I can't go wandering off now.
Да я думаю, иду пойти поохотиться. А где ему иду искать-то? В сумке у меня ничего нету. Можно в кости поиграть, что ли?
How do you like it here?
I'll tell you, it's nothing like home.
And have you ever been further than Rattay?
No, I never was, but I always wanted to. That's why Oates put in a word for me so I could ride along. Besides, for an adventurous expedition like this, you've got to have the right gear and good horses. And I'm in charge of them.
I'm a bit anxious about tomorrow. How about you? Are you worried?
A wee bit. But we've got good intentions. Sir Hans is responsible. And sensible too, when it comes to important things. And no doubt Lord von Berghoff is a wise man and he'll hear him out with a cool head. Clever folks can always somehow come to an agreement, can't they?
I'm not so sure about that. Even the best of folks can fall out. One small wrong word rubs them up the wrong way. And next thing you know, the claws are out.
Aye, I suppose. Still, though, I reckon it'll be fine.
And you take good care of our horses. I can't say they're exactly whinnying with joy.
Don't make fun of me, eh? Whenever they need anything, I take care of it for you. The only thing that bothers me is them cliffs and rocky paths. I hope none of the horses breaks a leg.
Track!
А, может выслеживать? Точнее, он. Блять, а как гиды взять?
Listen,
А,
would you have some scraps for a mutt?
That's a good one. He already gobbled up a piece of venison while I was having a piss. I've got one last sausage and I'll be saving that for the way back. Look, Henry, I'm fond of that beast, but you ought to keep him under control.
Listen, if you give me that sausage now, I'll bring you something from the feast tomorrow. They'll surely serve us up some real delicacies at Lord von Berghoff's castle. And I'll be invited, too.
You might be right. After all, you're a noble's bastard, and Sir Hans always keeps you close at hand. All right then, here's your sausage. And don't forget about me tomorrow. My favourite is boar meat with rosehip sauce and cabbage.
Aye, come here. Look what I have for you. Do you know why we're going to Trotsky?
For some big political parley.
Yeah, of course. I'm just wondering if you know what's in that message we're carrying.
Not really, but I reckon our lords want to sound out von Burgo. Bear in mind the times we're living in. King Wenceslas under lock and key in Vienna, and his brother Sigismund, meanwhile, shamelessly plundering Bohemia. We need to know who's going to stand on our side if things get even worse. And the royal chamberlain, von Burgo, has the land reserves under his thumb. So he's a big player.
Do you know these parts?
A little. It's all rocks and woods. Lovely to look at, but shit for hunting in. If you don't watch your step, you could easily fall down some fissure.
So you've been in Trotsky before?
Not Trotsky itself. Once I just passed through here with Sir Hanusha's escort.
Ah, I expect that's why he sent you with us.
No doubt, but also because I'm not as rash as you youngsters. And besides, as the cook, I make sure you lot don't gobble up all the supplies at once.
To tell the truth, I'm starting to get a bit anxious about what to expect tomorrow. Do you think our big mission will be successful?
Nothing to worry about. We'll get to Trotsky, Sir Hans and Von Burgo will parley, and then we'll ride back. Done.
You're a bit sure of yourself, eh?
Well, this ain't my first time delivering a message. Everything will go according to plan. Don't you worry.
We might even discuss how to make peace with Sigismund.
Peace? I don't know. Sigismund is winning and he won't want to parley for peace. But I hope there's some chance of a truce at least, an armistice. The main thing is that it don't get no worse. Hacking up Cumans is one thing, but if it comes to Czechs fighting against Czechs, that'd be nasty.
How do you think things will end up tomorrow?
How? No ways, I reckon. Whenever someone parleys with someone about something, it takes ages.
Why do you think that?
See me and Conrad now? We can't even agree who's going to be on watch this evening. But then, I'm just a spear carrier. I ain't got the head for no noble manners. Ask Oates. He'll know more about it for sure.
Have you ever been in these parts before?
No, but I know there's a village called Troskovic at the foot of the castle, and there's a tavern there. Me and Conrad will go there and fatten our purses nicely on the locals. I got the dice ready for it. If Sir Hans gives us a bit of free time, like. I must remind him.
Where did you get the table from?
From that cave behind me. It was just lying there. So I says to myself, that's better than playing on the ground.
Maybe in the end, Lord Capon and von Burgov will arrive at some agreement.
Aye, maybe. We'll see.
I see you've got dice set up. Want a game?
Sure thing, Henry. How's about a little wager to spice it up?
What do you want to wager?
Look, if you lose, how about you pay for everything I order in the tavern in Trotsky?
And if I win?
Well, I've got this silver ring here I won from Oates yesterday. I'll wager that.
Sounds fair to me. All right, it's a deal.
Come.
В первой части у меня как-то не очень шло с этими костями. Но я вроде понял, как в них играть. Вроде. Я думаю, здесь то же самое осталось. Ой.
And show us what you can do. Unless you're playing for the first time. If I was you, I'd take it. Let it be now. I want to play too, you know?
Ой-ой-ой.
Well, you're not afraid of anything.
Я что, заново начал? А зачем? Или из-за того, что мне удачно выпало, можно еще так делать? Ладно, попробую еще разок кинуть. Бля, ладно, хорош выпендриваться. Я лучше на это закончу.
God! Oh, come on!
Жестко ему не фартануло.
If I threw like that, I wouldn't play at all.
И мне тоже.
Damnation.
И ему опять. Что происходит? Да возьму единичку пока. Или 2 пятерки. Что лучше брать? Пойти рискованный парень. Дальше давай. Хорош.
My God, I'm done.
Блять.
Nothing worth mentioning.
Не фартануло.
No, that's as far as I go.
Отложу единичку пока. О, все.
Kurva! Damn your eyes. You played well. Ah, what's to be done? A bet is a bet. Here's your ring.
Что за кольцо? Обаяние. Меньше заметность? Странно. Так, ну ладно, вроде все сделал.
Can we start with the sword play?
You've got your armor. Good. I won't hold back. Ready?
Let's get warmed up. I'll attack you a few times. You defend.
Go ahead. Impress me. Is that the best you've got? I didn't even work up a sweat.
Oh, you will soon enough. A foe in plate armor has to be worn down.
Let's see it then. Attack properly now. A longer sequence. Enough!
Now you're warmed up, eh?
Yeah. But you're pretty winded yourself. While you're attacking, you still have to take care you have strength left to defend.
Save the advice and try it yourself.
Gladly. On guard. That's the way. Nice. Good. That's the way. Good.
Oh, that's enough. No one's ever won a duel just by blocking. You've got to make an opening to strike back. And you do that by means of a perfect block.
Perfect block, eh? You've become a real swordsman.
Start your attack then.
You're too slow. That's it. You're doing great, Henry. Nice. But what about a riposte? Reckon you can manage that?
Why wouldn't I? Nothing to it. I just follow up a perfect block immediately with a strike. I'll show you.
Get ready. Good, Henry. Nice.
Ой,
Block first.
я моргнул.
Well, you're not as good as Captain Bernard, but that wasn't bad.
Be sure to remember, if someone gives you a riposte, you can still fend it off with a perfect block. And it's best to follow up right away with your own riposte.
Yeah, right. But what if I want to attack in such a way that you can't make a perfect block?
Then it's best to attack at a spot where your opponent isn't covered. Where he's not holding his weapon. You defend, and I'll show you how.
All right, come on then. Nice. Nice work, Henry. Ooh, nice, Henry. All right. I get it. For Christ's sake. Enough demonstrations and explanations.
Let's have one training duel to finish up, eh?
Indeed. And let's have a wager to spice things up. How about 100 groschen?
100? How about 200? Are you feeling confident or not?
Fine, 200. On guard. First hit. Ow! Kurwa! Ow! Kurwa!
Бля, лоханулся.
Ow! Kurwa! How do you do it? Ow! Kurwa! Ow! Kurwa!
God wills it!
А кончится тренировка сегодня, нет?
Ow! Kurwa! Ow! me! Ugh. I yield! Enough! Oh, for fuck's sake, you're unstoppable! Oh, you won the bet, fair and square. I'll settle with you when we get to Trust.
Henry!
Now let's go and eat. That swordplay gave me quite an appetite.
Я думал, игра уже зависла, и поединок бесконечный. Скучновато как-то было.
So who won, gentlemen?
Oh, it seems this isn't my day. I knew I shouldn't have bet with you. You've improved since that last time in Ratai.
Ну да, и кстати, и врата я выиграл.
I won back then too, as I recall. You had to give me your bow.
You were unbelievably lucky, beating me after just one day of training. True, I wasn't in my best form that day. We had a...
Он не проиграл мне лук, там была ничья.
Rhodes? What's this
Он выиграл в
Rhodes
луке, а
supposed
я на
What's
мечах.
left of our supplies? Tomorrow we'll be at the castle, and we'll get some decent grub.
If you told us earlier, I could have shot a hare. And you could have cooked it like they did in the tavern the day before yesterday.
That tavern where you drank away all your coin?
Ha! You've got to have some fun.
And then you tried it on with the innkeeper's daughter when you were shit-faced.
She was pretty. A real peach. Admit it.
Only a fella was there.
He was well pissed off. If I hadn't convinced him you were the village idiot and that we dragged you home right away.
And if I hadn't left him a fistful of coin to boot.
Throwing groschen around like that? Fellas, if a rainy day comes, you'll be fucked.
Ha! I've got nothing to regret. The whole world turns around wenches. Ain't that right, Henry?
Hmm?
You never gave us the goods on that lass of yours. What was her name now?
Teresa. She lived with that crook Peshek at the mill.
And she saved my life.
A brave girl.
Aye. She's a fine lass. And? Is she any good? Like, is she any good? Get me?
She's my sweetheart. And that's all I'll tell you.
Ah, don't be such a monk. Out with it.
Listen up. I'll tell you what that girl can do. The wildest she-cat I know. So when she's stripped off...
Enough, enough. You want to be a chivalrous knight, and you talk like that about a damsel? For shame. You know, this traveling isn't too bad.
Apart from the mosquitoes.
Aye. Apart from them.
Where were you yesterday evening, Henry? You were late for supper. That's not what I call watching over our lord.
Hey, don't make trouble.
I needed a bit of peace and quiet. I had a stroll around, checking out what plants grow here, praying for the success of our mission, and I came back.
At last someone with some sense who's not in a hurry all the time.
If I always had to think everything over, but...
I wouldn't have rolled in the hay with so many girls if I spent my time just thinking about it.
Thanks for the prayer, anyway.
And what about, time, sir? I mean, will we be getting any time off, sir?
It depends. Once von Berghoff hears us out, we should set off back home immediately.
What? Straight back on the road?
Well, we could stay a day or two, perhaps.
Does anyone know anything more about von Berghoff?
Only what Sir Hans told us, that von Berghoff is a big cheese in the royal court. That's why we're going to negotiate an alliance with him.
You summed that up nicely. But yes, that's how it is. He's the Royal Chamberlain. You fellas will never meet a more important noble than him.
I heard he insists on having the finest swords, and that he's got a big collection of all kinds of swords and daggers.
Collecting them ain't the same as knowing how to use them.
And is he any good at sword fighting? It ain't nothing easy to learn.
The sword is the weapon of a master. Balanced, fast, and suitable for all situations. Of course, you have to train with it and try to improve your technique, but the result is worth it.
Aye, I get it. It was just a training fight. Pardon me.
Oh, swords, swords, swords. No doubt you're going to tell us again how the perfidious Ishvan Toth stole your sword. And I thought you'd come round to thinking about other things.
And that sword is the only reminder I had of Pa. We forged it together, just before he was slain. But that's another matter. I suppose you've heard enough of that, eh?
Well, you know.
Ah, it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Ishvan's shoes if you ever come face to face with him again.
What? So Radzig ain't dead, though?
Enough, enough. Otherwise we'll be here for hours again hearing how Martin the Smith raised him even though Radzig is his real father. It's complicated, and let's leave it at that. No offense.
Who'll help me tomorrow with getting supplies for the journey back?
We rolled dice for it, and I won, so Conrad goes.
What are you on about?
Enough. Oath, you're no fun at all. There'll be a feast at the castle tomorrow, so forget about supplies.
Anyone for another helping? There's plenty left. Maybe even a bit for morning.
No thanks. I must wash myself down a bit.
My words exactly. We can't turn up at Trotsky tomorrow in this state.
Блять, может хватит разговаривать? Дайте сохранюсь и закончу.
Go and strip, Henry. Fellas, come and help us get out of this armor.
Are you really going to bathe here, Sir Hans? You don't look none too safe a spot to me.
Oh, don't be such an old woman, Oates. Bring some wine to warm our blood.
Yeah, we're not on a trip to the baths here, Sir Hans.
Henry's right, sir. Duty first, fun later.
God's wounds. I haven't been away from Rattay in ages. So, here, I intend to live a little. Blasted iron shirt. Oh, what a relief! I feel like I've just shed 40 pounds.
Ah, Christ. Will I ever live to see his young lordship finally grow up? He's got a good heart, but he doesn't have the sense that he was born with.
Well, responsibility will catch up with him soon enough, though.
There's more chance of me becoming a monk.
That's a view fit for a king.
You're right about our stench.
Let's hope this water isn't too cold. You wouldn't want your pride and joy shrinking.
I'm more worried about it being too deep.
Come on. Oh, that really shrivels the old ball sack.
What's the matter?
Females! Let's go to them.
Sir Hans!
Oh, shut up and let's go. But quietly. We don't want them to spot us.
Hans!
Так, все, на этом мы закончим. Всем спасибо за просмотр, ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь, а главное комментируйте, чтобы я мог с вами общаться. До скорых встреч.